Okay, game number 1. The eternal conflict continues, and we are still in Group A. So, we are in the group stage. We have 10 teams in total, fighting for prize money of 1,500 euros. No draft restrictions whatsoever. And, well, we have... The first match that we had in the tournament was a bit of a warm-up game, one could argue. But now we have Racencourt, who had a pretty glorious 2-0 victory in their first match. They go up against the Raccoons, and the team around Disciple, starting in blue here, has really caused a lot of waves in this year, in 2025. They kind of merged on the scene, and nobody really knew, okay, how strong are these guys actually. And they won now several tournaments, which is pretty impressive, honestly. So it is, I think, pretty fair to say that many think they will again hit at the minimum the top 3 of the tournament. Now, can they really justify that or not? Time will tell. For now, we have them, as I said, in the group stage. So we have Group A, Group B, and then these two funnel directly into the playoffs. But now Tomb of the Spider Queen is our first map in this specific series. Unfortunately, Cho'Gall gets banned out. Would have loved to see him here. But we have our first pick, and it is Ubi on Dehaka. Dehaka was always something that they prioritized very, very highly. That's also true on Tomb of the Spider Queen, as you can see here now. With Disciple, the hero that really stands out for him is obviously Orphea. He kind of brought Orphea back into the meta, and it worked pretty well for them. But now we have more and more teams that play Orphea too, so we'll see if Disciple relies on that again. Keep in mind, there are no draft restrictions, so it's not like you have to try and get her early, or you won't have a chance to pick her later on. That's another one that we see a lot for the blue team. Malfurion for Scourge is another one that they always lock in when they have a chance to do so. So it's a highly played hero for Team Rabbit Raccoons. And we get Gul'dan together with it. Now on the right side, the opening with Johanna and Leoric, still fairly strong, powerful here. But very, very intrigued to see what's going to happen with the Raccoons. They're a team that is honestly a ton of fun. I really enjoyed their matches in the previous tournaments. I just felt that they were always showing at least, you know, some aggression, never really playing it too safe, and it was pretty cool to see them just shake up the status quo. Now, can they still do that here? We'll see. We had, of course, a few tournaments now where there was also more of a captain's draft approach, so where teams didn't sign up as fully formed teams, but instead it was captains drafting out of a player pool. So having the Raccoons now appear here at the Eternal Conflict is already a big plus in my book. Now we get Falstad banned, Tyrael was banned, and we still need some damage for Racencourt. And again, they walked away with the Jojo pick, so lots of wave clear already for the red team. Johanna and Leoric, already great for them. We have Gul'dan, who's, when it comes to mages, probably one of the biggest favorites for Tomb of the Spider Queen, for very similar reasons. It's all about getting that wave clear with those easy rotations between the lanes going. And Genji is now picked up too. Quick reminder, this is all still played out on the old patch. The new patch is still only available on the PTR server. Once that the new patch that has all of these changes coming into the game gets released and is then played in the tournament itself, I'm going to highlight it in the videos too. But I'm pretty sure that with the start of the new video, a lot of people will be interested to hear if this is played on the new patch, yes or no. So currently that's not the case, but at some point during the event it's going to swap once that Blizzard releases that. Unfortunately, there's never really any proper communication between Blizzard and not giving tournament organizers a heads up or anything, so that they can schedule around that or prepare for it. Disciple on Alarak, and we got Lopaka on Varian. So they are looking for a bit of a sniper comp with that taunt. And Alarak can, of course, build on that together with Malfurion and the root. And over on the right side for Bronick, we have our final pick for map number 1, and the team goes for Nezebo. So, ladies and gentlemen, map number 1 between the Raccoons and Racencourt, Tomb of the Spider Queen. On our left side, in game number 1, we have the Raccoons in blue with a lightning build. Extended lightning for Alarak, played by Disciple. The blue team with Scorch on Malfurion. We got Ubi on Dehaka, Morenas on Gul'dan, and Lopaka is playing Varian. Over on the right side, Machko for Racencourt playing the main tank, rocking Johanna here with the Zealous Glare as a level 1 choice. We got Ethan Leoric, Bronick is playing And we have Itrax on Genji and Lavakal with the Fruit Fly playing Brightwing in game number 1 of the series. So let's see if Nazebo makes it to 20 and gets the stacks. And talking about stacks, let's keep an eye on Disciple and how much he is able to stack things up for himself. And of course also, if he can keep his sadism. That's going to be a big question mark in this game. Always kind of fun to see them on these scaling heroes. They're always probably the most entertaining to watch. Leo's already down at the bottom of the map. He's doing his thing here. Everybody else rotating or trying to rotate between the lanes. And that's of course especially true for Rosperdol, since they would love for Nazebo to soak 2 waves and get his stacks there. But the blue team is shutting that down very early, or at least is trying to. Gets trapped, and Lopaka might be the first one to fall, and indeed does. Varian is gone, and that's an early kill for Rosperdol, so a good start for them. Just as the blue team was about to dominate the rotation between the mid and the top lane, the red team fights back, gets a kill, and is now the one that can make those moves and help out Nazebo a little bit. Who's currently sitting on 14 stacks, but has now a bit more freedom to work with. Down at the bottom of the map, Ubi gets attacked, tries for the lick, but misses it. Still had Alara coming out and help him a bit too. It's a very aggressive early game. Right from the start, the players and teams are starting to make their moves. Nice, the combo on Leo, nearly successful. If Varian already had a taunt here, we would have seen a kill for sure. That's not the case though. Gul'dan is pushing the top. In the meantime, he's trying to be aggressive here. We now have down at the bottom of the map, Dehaka lying in waiting in that bush of his. Just hoping that somebody is coming a bit too close. But talking about coming too close, it seems like Gul'dan has found a couple of friends. Trying to sneak out here, and then Genji with a kill. But the bad news is that it's a double kill against the red team that follows. So yeah, job well done by Rabid Raccoons. They made their move towards the top and then punished both Nazebo and Genji after they got the kill on Gul'dan. But it was initially well prepared. I mean, Gul'dan goes down, but then it's the rotation that they're not able to avoid. And the blue team is now getting more and more aggressive as they're hoping for more kills. And of course hope also to be the first one to get a set of Web Weavers. The teams have nearly identical amounts of gems in their hands now. With level 4 we get Taunt, and we also get the additional stacks for Alarak, who's now sitting negatively charged with 4 stacks. And that's exactly what he's going to try and build as the game continues. And talking about building things here, Nazebo with the Spider Bill is getting attacked again. Was already taunted by Varian, so no chance for Varian to lock him down even further and tee the team up once again. But they are still poking here, and for Disciple that means additional stacks. He has now 2 of the quest rewards out of the 3 possible on level 1. Down at the bottom of the map, the side laners also going toe-to-toe with 10 stacks for Gul'dan, who of course would love to finish this before he gets Ruthless Affliction on 16. Varian again, race car style, zipping in. It's always the funniest thing when you are trying to taunt somebody, or when you do taunt somebody or charge them, that are trying to go for a quick move. Like in this case, a Swift Strike from Genji, and then you just follow them. Big damage though! Lavakal low, and he barely survives, but that was close. That was nearly the end of Brightwing. But very good damage from the Raccoons, and of course fantastic also for Gul'dan himself, since that means that he's getting more and more stacks for level 1 now. And if he continues at a pace, then he's definitely going to be done by the time he hits 16 and the Ruinous Affliction follow-up. Once again, move to try and counter that. Good move by Morenas though, as he was trying to suck Nazebo dry here. Now they're trying to go for Machko, who gets saved by Brightwing, but you can see the red team is struggling in these situations. They are. They're losing quite a lot of ground, and this is starting to become a bit troublesome. Especially now with Leoric dying at the bottom of the map to Ubi. I mean, his Dehaka was always fantastic. I talked a bit about it during the draft. But this is just where this all continues, and it seems that Bronek is not going to make it either. The Hakas coming in, and they get the kill, despite the fact that they're shortly after trapped by the zombie wall. But that's Nazebo gone. Nazebo has good stacks. He's sitting at 60 stacks, but this is now the second time that he gets killed. So that's that. We have, at the same time, the turn-in attempts happening. Another kill in the sights of Dehaka, and he gets it with the help of the rest of the team. That's 5 kills to 2 now, and so far, so good. Blue web viewers are going to be descending first, and this will be a big deal, potentially, because it could just happen with the level 10 advantage for Rabid Raccoons. And if they get heroic abilities around it, especially if they now lock in kills as well, if they get all that done, oh my god, that would be a disaster. And there it is, the kill against Nazeebo. That's really bad for Rospedal. Less stacks for Nazeebo, more experience for the blue team. They're gonna hit level 10 in just a few seconds, and this is really a big issue, especially now with Genji also getting attacked and killed. That's kill number 7, and they're breaking through the middle. They're going through it like hot butter through cheese, just absolutely evaporating it here. 30 stacks already for Gul'dan, and to make matters a bit worse, we have 18 stacks for Alarak on his level 4. Alarak is sitting at 20,000 damage, nearly the same numbers that Gul'dan has brought in so far. And as he scales, he will increase his damage output. Hasn't died yet either, so very favorable for his sadism stacks. 1 Ford in the middle, down. Ford at the top lane, also eliminated. This is a 2.5 level lead now. Actually, my bad, this is a 1.5 level lead that we're talking about now. But the advantage in structures is kind of nasty. I mean, it's really, really nasty. And for the red team, a turn-in, yes, that would mean a lot. That could potentially help them. But if you just look in the middle of the map, even the gate here gets destroyed. Now we have level 10 on both sides. They're trying to get out. Blessed Shield! And it's Malfurion that prevents the worst from happening. They try and set up the Entomb here as they're flanking it from the side. And Ether, he's the one to fall. Leoric gets quickly taken down. A couple of gems on the ground. They're looking for more kills. Brightwing is dead. And the lick on Genji. Amazing move again from Dehaka. Perfect opportunity for them to get another 3 kills and set themselves farther ahead here. The Raccoons with a fantastic first game in this best of 3 thus far. And quick reminder, when you compare that to the first best of 3 that Rospedal played, they obviously dominated there. Just puts into perspective a little bit on what kind of power level the Raccoons usually are. Now, this is of course still early. We're only 7 minutes into this game. There's still time for a comeback potentially. And even if the blue team takes game number 1, this is only the first map of a series, but still pretty good idea to just compare power levels a slight little bit. 110 sadism for Alarak, 23 stacks for his level 4. And Nazeebo, we're on level 11 now, but he has 93 stacks. So nothing crazy for Nazeebo currently. Not looking too great here. Now this could change. Should still be able to get that done. The question is, can they survive long enough? Because that train is still hitting. It's it's picking up steam. And it's rapidly accelerating towards the red team's base. We have Dehaka at the bottom of the map. With the web weavers in the middle, they could do some damage here too. And Leo is gonna die. Leo is dead. Less defense at the bot lane. There's siege giants and the camp, and in the mid lane we have also a mercenary camp plus the the web weavers. So this is going to hurt. The bottom fort is lost 100%. So right now the quick question is, what exactly are they gonna do in regards to the keep now? Are they able to take that out, yes or no? And it's a bit of a question mark still, but they have the talent lead over the opponent. So there's that. Jojo's slowly starting to move out. There's the taunt, and nice, the horrify, and the root on the ground from Malfurion. Perfectly teed up here. They're trying to take that keep out. It's a bit doubtful that they're going to be able to pull it off. There's no minion wave anymore to soak the shots, but they're poking from a distance as best as they can. The keep is slowly falling. They are still trying to take a few more kills though. Brightwing is able to come in and help out. The team is falling a bit low here. Dehaka has gotten himself another kill, and there's finally the next minion wave for the Raccoons. And now the push for that keep. They want to take that out. Nazeebo at the bottom of the map gets licked by Dehaka and gets eliminated. Nice. Great job Nezebo down. That's kill number 15 for the Raccoons. And as the blue team is starting to let up from their aggression in the middle, they're moving instead down to the bottom of the map and are taking down more and more heroes. Leoric is gone as well, and that wall completely fallen. They are still trying to get a bit farther ahead, but they are already commanding a 3-level advantage over the opponent's team. So this is just absolutely brutal for Rospierdoll. They're getting hammered into the ground right now with the Raccoons just not letting up. It's an endless siege that we're seeing here, and they take the keep out. The keep is eliminated. The top keep, by the way, has taken tons of damage too. Nezebo is at 115 stacks, and the blue team is actually making moves for the core itself. They were sieging up there for just a second. They have also enough gems for another turn-in and could theoretically make a play for the boss too. They have a talent advantage, and just the stats advantage alone through that 3-level lead is massive. Absolutely massive. They're basically just looking for kills here. Genji trying to buy a bit of time for the team. Wasn't really able to do anything there. We have now a couple of camps still coming up. Turn-in is happening once more. And I do not think that there is any chance of an interrupt. Rospierdoll doesn't want to fight that anyways. But now we have the Web Weavers coming down. And the only question is, how is the blue team going to play this? Straight for the core, for another keep? They're going to play that slow? What's the move? For now, they are damaging whatever they have in their sides. And they're pushing the minion waves out as well. So it seems more and more likely that we're going to get that pressure play through the bot lane. This should also open up a bit more space at the top of the map, where the Web Weavers could also take down another keep. But if this one falls, they are going to make a move for the core. And already, damage is there. Blessed Shield used. Couldn't get a kill. 35 stacks now for Alarak. And Jojo dies. Alarak with 45,000 damage now. Top damage in the game, and the keep at the bot lane is not looking good at all. Genji barely able to survive, is trying to get away here. Varian moves in with another slow and taunt, and that's the end of Leoki. So we get the bottom keep destroyed, and now they're going to make their play for the core. 4 levels ahead, 16 kills ahead. Huge moves by the Raccoons in game number 1 of the series. The top side keep likely going to fall too. Not that it matters anymore, because with another root on the ground and the follow-up, they get kills on Genji and Brightwing. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the conclusion of game number 1. The Raccoons with the lead in the best of 3 series here in Group A of Eternal Conflict Season 1. GG. We're going to head straight into game number 2, but before we do, once again guys, if you enjoy the coverage on the channel here, if you enjoy the match, please like and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. It also helps to boost the game to an even wider audience. And of course, it helps to get people back into Heroes of the Storm, as the algorithm recommends the videos to people that were interested in Heroes of the Storm in the past. So again, before I continue, if you haven't done it yet, subscribe to the channel and like the video. Appreciate it. And with that, we're heading straight into the second map of the series. Map number 2, Battlefield of Eternity. So, the blue team has taken the lead. Pretty impressive performance by the Raccoons. As I already said before, I was kind of curious how they would start into the event, given that they really shook up the power levels in previous tournaments. And now they are once again doing well here. I was a bit surprised how dominant they were against Rospierdoll, who is definitely... I mean, the red team is strong. They're not some pushover team that has no tournament experience. They have done very well in previous tournaments too, but they just couldn't really get a foot down in game number 1. So, great job by the blue team. Can they do that again? That's obviously the first question here, but we'll see. No draft rules. Can play everything that you want, just as a bit of a side note. Cho'Gall gets banned again. There should be some heroes you just aren't allowed to ban. Some heroes should always be available for picking. Cho'Gall is definitely one of them. But yeah, unfortunately gets banned. I mean, a Cho'Gall ban doesn't mean that we would have seen a Cho'Gall game if he doesn't get banned, but hey, we all would have loved to see one. So, Blaze gets picked for Battlefield of Eternity. And we could still see that Malfurion pick, for example, on the side of the blue team. Keep in mind, I talked a bit about how Scorch oftentimes plays Malfurion for them. We have now Liming plus Chen. Chen has actually played a lot from them on Battlefield of Eternity in past events, to an extent where we sometimes even saw Chen getting banned So not even that they didn't have a chance to pick him, but he was just like flat out banned because teams didn't want to go up against it. So now we have a pretty typical rotation for the Raccoons for Battlefield of Eternity. We get Sylvanas and we get a Nubarak on the other side. So if you win the Immortal, you can definitely start to push with Sylvanas even more so. A Nubarak for a couple of stuns can also then try and get some quick cocoons out. Li Ming will try and burst it down with the potential disintegrate. You don't have to go for disintegrate against a Nubarak, but most teams will still do exactly that because it's a cooldown victory that you essentially win every single time a Nubarak uses a cocoon. There's oftentimes this idea that some people have like, oh, Nubarak is a counter to Li Ming. It's not really true. You have the beetles that soak up some of the damage. That's definitely a thing. But Li Ming can still fire from a distance and force things. And a Nubarak's ult gets more or less invalidated if Li Ming goes for disintegrate because you can just burn it down within a second. So more often than not, Li Ming is actually picked against a Nubarak. In this case, a Nubarak coming through as a choice after the Li Ming pick down. Ana banned, so they don't want to go up against a nano boosted Li Ming here. With the blue team now going for the next double pick. Eyes are on Scorch and specifically Disciple, but Scorch, are we gonna get Tyrande this time? Miranda, old school! Merlin Tyrande as a roaming squad that can get some stuns going, a little CC train. Tyrande, of course, also useful here for the Hunter's Mark, not only on opponent's heroes to burn them down quicker, but also as you can use it on the Immortal to take that bad boy down so much faster. So, off we go. Uther. There's a solar heal. And Greymane. Sylvanas Greymane. They are amazing on the Immortal, on structures, on the core. It doesn't really matter. If you get the two of them anywhere, they can absolutely wreck things. And a nice placed Divine Shield by Uther can allow Greymane to go absolutely bonkers in a team fight. So this is going to get interesting here. This is a very aggressive draft for Rospidol if they are just diving with this. And for Disciple, on the side of the blue team, we get the key hero for Disciple. We get Orphea. So, ladies and gentlemen, map number 2 in our best of 3 series. In Group A, we have Battlefield of Eternity coming up next. In blue on the left, we have the Raccoons with Disciple on his Orphea, going for Ancestral Strength as a level 1 choice. Scorch on Tyrande, starting things off with the Lunar Blaze. Obviously going to work together with Lopaka on Muradin. We get Ubi on Chen and Morenas for most of the burst damage. They play a double mage, so Disciple on Orphea and then Morenas on Li Ming. Whereas over on the right side of the map in red, we have Lavakal for Rospiedol on Uther. We got Machko on Nubarak, Ether on Blaze, Itrax is playing Greymane, and Bronek is playing Sylvanas. The top lane, Orphea, is actually assisting Chen. Well, maybe not so much. They were basically just keeping a few additional heroes up at the top because... careful. They weren't really sure if the red team was trying to push with Sylvanas somewhere, so what they did is they just set up 2 of their heroes at the top, so if Sylvanas tries to go for a tower early, they have some heroes they can throw against them and try and stop them. That wasn't really the case, so Orphea started to immediately rotate back down to the bottom of the map and leave the top lane to Chen and Blaze to fight it out solo style. Now, already some damage against the Nubarak, as we saw previously. Muradin jumping out of the bush, and this is something we're going to see a lot. Muradin jumping in, trying to land the Stormbolt, and then Tyrande attempt to follow all of that up. Now, as now the camps are up, we could see a rotation down to the bottom of the map in an attempt to grab it. And I actually think this is exactly what Blaze is currently doing, but if that's the plan, then they're a little bit late. Bronick is now jumping in and wants it, but this could definitely trigger also some changes on what Chen is doing. Either he goes for the camp at the top lane by himself, or he rotates down, and so far has made no moves to the bottom of the map. Uh-oh, that's a kill though. Orphea! Yeah, much praised, but in this case, easily eliminated. Goes down, and the camp is also taken by Rospidol. So they get the camp, and they get the Orphea kill. Nicely done by them. Chen is still pushing the top out and is trying to slow Blaze down. This is going to be super interesting also with the next patch, because again, once that we have the new patch, I believe that the time for the globes to disappear is going to be reduced down to 6 seconds. which is pretty significant. So if you can slow heroes down that are trying to rotate between the lanes, this can actually translate into direct experience gains for yourself, or at least denying them to the opponent. 2 kills to 1 with Uther now falling at the bottom lane. He wasn't the only one. Sylvanas has fallen too. So, not bad. And, yeah, Chen still drinking. Full chill mode over here from him. The owl? Dodged. Nothing is funnier than owl kills. I think on my Twitch channel there's still an exclamation mark owl command. I'm not 100% certain, but that was an owl from, I believe it was even the first year of release or something along those lines. The Tirana was very different back then and got multiple kills with a single owl, which is amazing. Talk about multiple kills. Greymane, he's getting multiple kills here. First Muradin and then goes straight for Afia and takes her out too. So that was pretty epic. That's great for them. 3 kills to 2 and the lead on the objective after the, I don't want to say disastrous, but the really rough game number 1 that the red team experienced. They are now looking at a much better opening into game number 2. Could bring them back into the series. Tower at the bottom of the map about to get dropped. The entire wall is essentially opened up. And that's a halftime show victory right there. So they're taking the halftime show. Easy win for them, I might add. And for the blue team, this spells out trouble, at least a bit. They need to be very careful how they're playing this now. Don't want to fall too far behind here. In experience, they're still fine. And yeah, for now, here comes the next play. Muradin, Stormbolt, Tyrande, follow up. Can they get the kill? Greymane jumps around, uses a mobility, but Chen is high in his heels. Fat Illidan, let him eat cake, is jumping in feet first, and they get the kill on Greymane. And that allows them to take slowly the hit points of the red team's Immortal away. Now they don't have any amazing tools here. They don't have Greymane sitting in their midst. But they should still be able to stop the bleeding a little bit. If they win the Immortal, it's a completely different story. But at least reducing the shield is already a win. Greymane is of course now also back. Death timers are still low, so Rospedol is on their way. But Uther goes down. Okay. Uther eliminated. Blaze still with a bit of damage. The Immortal will fall. Rospedol is going to grab it. But I gotta say that the red team has lost a lot of hit points on their own Immortal now too. So good job by Li Ming, for example. She did well here. Prevented worse things from happening. It was kind of important to ensure that they're not losing more than that. But yeah, down at the bottom of the map. And so we still have them breaking through this. They can of course now push easily on both lanes if they really want to. Blaze is sitting at the top and then you have Sylvanas and Greymane. So if you have the two of them on the same lane, your opponent has to react. And this is the best way that you can possibly react to it. You just take Greymane off the board and all of a sudden you're the one in the lead. So for them that's amazing. That's great. They're getting another kill. Chen jumped in and they took down Uther after they already dropped Greymane. So this is awesome for them. Doesn't change the fact that Blaze at the top is able to do a significant amount of damage to the fort. So this thing has suffered no matter what. But with 6 kills to 3, we have the Raccoons now in the driver's seat on the kill count. And that was pretty solid. But as I said before, this is the first objective gone. So this is pretty great. If you have the first Immortal and you take a fort out, you are going to be massively happy about that. It could have, of course, been worse. That two-pronged attack with Sylvanas Greymane is super powerful. But it was well handled. Still came at a cost. But the leading experience is still there. Disciple dead again. So just as they're gaining a bit of ground with kills and experience, they're also losing Ophir again. And it leads to another camp for the team in red. So, yep, they're able to take another one in. Owl coming out once more. Yep. The Owl is ready. And level 10 will be there a bit sooner for the Raccoons, but I don't think they are going to be able to do anything with it. Nope. Gap is definitely not as big anymore as it once was. Starfall is now in. We're getting the Eternal Feast again. Li Ming, careful. Li Ming, by the way, did not decide to go into this integrated counter Cocoon, so they're fine with letting Cocoon be played out. She went straight up into Wave or Force, so using that as a playmaker instead of an Anubarak counter. Oh, Disciple still alive somehow. Oh my god, how the hell did you survive that? And how did... what the... Anubarak dying and Li Ming is still alive? That was huge. Topside, Chen is able to get the camp. Used his Keck and stole that out. So that's another big win for them. And they're rotating the rest of the team in to try and see if they can maybe get another kill. They're forcing the bunker. There's the Storm Ball. Kill number 1 and kill number 2. Double kill. And it all started with this play at the bot lane. Check that out. Check that out. Somehow, Disciple is alive throughout all of it. Makes it out of the fight. And then they're able to get themselves a kill. And now they got the double kill at the top. They even move in to steal the opponent's Shaman camp away. And things are just spiraling out of control for Rossbeard All. 10 kills to 4 now all of a sudden. And a 1 level lead for the blue team. That's massive. That's big. I mean, they did exceptionally well here. So, nicely done. Topside defense is currently set up slowly. We have the halftime show easily won by the Raccoons. Looking at the damage output, we have 23,000 for both Li Ming and for Sylvanas. We're trying to get another kill. Alright, and there it is. Sylvanas is gone. Very well coordinated. And now they're trying to force that fight with Ophia being on her way. That's a 5 versus 4 now. Can they get Blaze? They should be able to, and they drop him. Blaze gone. Extremely well done. So, 9 minutes in, and this should be a pretty big Immortal. So far, it was the red team that dominated on the objective. On structures. Both. But now, with this Immortal potentially taken by the Raccoons, we could see a swing in the structure advantage between the two teams. That level 13 talent is certainly going to help. And that is basically 100% on the shield. Nice. 100% shield for the Raccoons as they are claiming an objective here too. And now the question of how much damage they can do at the bottom of the map. The wall is opened. Completely opened up. So now they can go for the fort down here. That should fall for sure. And the question that still remains is, are they going to continue to try and break through the keep wall or not? Always assuming that disaster doesn't completely strike right now, and the red team gets a full 5-man wipe or something along those lines. But so far things are looking pretty okay. Stormbolt did connect with the biggest threat, which was that nasty beetle at that point. The wolf, not really too terrifying, but here they go. Divine Shield to save Sylvanas. Help to zone them out from the point though. To zone them away from the fort. So that was also nicely done. Blaze is still at the top. He's trying to get experience for the red team so that they hit in a level 13 talent in time for the defense. Because this could actually cost them a lot of HP on the keep too. So Blaze has now moved back out after eliminating another minion wave at the top. Stormbolt misses, therefore also the stun from Lunara, but they're isolating Greymane, and he's gone. Greymane gone, the wall destroyed. Greymane, of course, one of the best defenders that they have, and with 13 kills to 3 in a 2-level lead, we have Rabid Raccoons taking down the keep at the bot lane. One objective is all that they needed to take 2 structures out. Sylvanas is able to take down Ophia, so that's kill number 4 against Disciple, and this one hurts. If they could have held on to Ophia a bit longer throughout that fight, they might have even been able to damage the core itself, but they will have to fall back here. You can't stay in this situation for too long. Another Stormbolt, and with the follow-up stun, they can kill Blaze. Nice. Now they're farming them a little bit. So, nicely done. Blaze is gone, Greymane still lingering around. I think he has a chance there. 44,000 damage for Li Ming. 35,000 for Sylvanas. The 2 top damage dealers on each side. And right now, with level 16 being this close, the Raccoons can make some moves. Either for mercenary camps, or they could, for example, try and go for the top side fort. With a 2-level lead. Should be fairly easy. Stats advantage, talent advantage. Nubarak. Muradin looks for the Stormbolt. Gets cocooned right away. Yeah, Murden is going to be out in a second. It's the Storm Bolt and the Divine Shield from Uther. Better safe than sorry. They didn't want to risk anything here. The camp was taken. Fat Illidan is at the bottom of the map and is jumping from point to point. They can go for the core here. As long as they stop them from hearthing, and that's exactly what they do, this could be some damage, but Blaze made it back. So Blaze at least was able to retreat. The shield is still falling on the core. Disciple is now done here, and they're trying to push at the top just a little bit. But yeah, Ubi on Chen, he's just like, I'm gonna get some damage in. And if it's the last thing that I do, a little bit of damage, he can always keck out if he wants to. So he is putting the core down to 93%. It's the only hero that is currently back. That's Blaze. And they are pushing with 4 still up at the top. Chen, still totally fine. Look at how much he's taking off that core. The core is now down to 75%, and only with Greymane appearing does Chen decide that it's time to move away. Doesn't want to use his ult, and just simply ignores it. No ult used. They jump on Sylvanas, who just committed Honorable Sudoku. She's down. Chen could have kicked at any point, decided against it. And now after Sylvanas falls, they go for Uther, drop him too, and it's going to be a triple kill with Blaze following next. He is dead as well, and this could honestly be game. With 74% on the core, and the team now moving in and all their might, this is the moment where they can end it all. It's 14 seconds for Sylvanas to be back, and they've just done too much damage already. So here it is, 60%, and fantastic performance by the Raccoons. I gotta say, this team is so much fun to watch. They came, I don't want to say out of nowhere, but again, they shook up the meta so hard. And especially the power levels, and now they're back to business with a 2-0 win over Rospet Dol. They move on to the next round of this winner bracket in Group A. GG.